So cut a washed piece of fabric, 17 roughly by 8. 17 by 8. Then fold it in half and iron a crease. Nice sharp crease. Then I've cut a piece of interfacing about 1 inch shy on both sides. And I'm going all the way to the end because I want to catch it on the end. Then I'm going to stitch that crease, down that crease, that center crease, catching the interfacing in the crease. Next, I'm going to fold the long edges down 1/4 inch. I just eyeball this. You can measure it if you want. I've just been sewing for so long that I can see certain sizes. Next, we're going to put in the folds, the pleats. I do this my own way. I don't know if I've ever been taught, so if you do it a different way, that's fine, but this is how I do it. So I'm going to fold down the top by 1 inch, roughly. Again, I'm eyeballing it. Then I'm going to flip it over to the right side, and I'm going to fold again about 1/4 inch, or 1/2 inch, excuse me. And then I'm going to do it again from the front. Fold down 1 inch. And if you're good at seeing straight lines, it's easier to just eyeball this than stopping and measuring every time. But if you can't, use your trusty measuring device. I love the old-fashioned hem ruler. I always stock up when I find them because they're not easy to find in the stores. Now I'm going to do 1 more pleat, so altogether there'll be 3. Now we're going to take it to the sewing machine. Okay, so at the machine, we're going to fold it right in half, right sides together, and line up your edges. Try to get your pleats, if you're relatively straight, line them up so that when you turn it right side out, they'll be even. And I'm just stitching like 1/4 inch on the very end. I'm going to trim up my end so it's relatively straight and flat. Now I'm going to go back to the iron after I've turned it right side out and just press it so that it's nice and crisp on the ends. Okay, so I've pressed it so it's nice and crisp, and I've cut 2 lengths of elastic. I'm using black just because I like it better with the darker color fabrics, and they're 10 inches long each. So now I'm going to slide the elastic in next to the seam on one side, and I'm going to stitch down. Now the problem I've had at this stage is sometimes the elastic isn't tight enough against the seam and I catch it with the stitch, so just be very sensitive to keeping the elastic out of the line of the stitch. Now for a while I didn't have any elastic, so I made cords, and that seems to be what the nurses and medical professionals prefer rather than the elastic around their ears. And that's a little more complicated just because I made my own cords, and I put a toggle on the ends. So if you want to know how to do that, I will I'll try to make another video. This is my first video attempt, so I'm not really very confident. So I sewed all the way across the bottom, and now I'm going to do the other side with the elastic that I tucked in. This one's a little bit harder because I'm going up against the pleats rather than down, so you just have to make sure that you keep the pleats nice and flat. Now I'm going back the other side. The other thing you want to keep aware of is your fold. You don't want to catch that fold in the stitch, because then the pleat won't work. It won't pull open. And the whole point of these are that with the pleats, it makes it very adjustable to fit on your face. And I'm just going to tie a knot in the end of this elastic. This one is nice and stretchy and long, so I can do that and have lots of room for people to still adjust it. I might adjust the elastic length a little bit next time, make it a little bit shorter. But this way people can untie it and adjust it to fit their own. I slid the knot inside, but that isn't absolutely necessary. It just looks neater. This one's really long, so I'm going to cut it, tie it again. Didn't measure very accurately, apparently. There, and there's a face mask all done. I recommend that people wash these again after they get them from me, just because I've touched it a lot and I don't think I have the virus, but who knows? So it's better to be safe than sorry. So I recommend people wash these.